Time now for another vlog. And we are continuing our monthly series in 2020 with reflecting on what's happened this past month, just like we've been doing in January as well as February. But if you want to check out previous vlogs I've done on a variety of topics, feel free and go over to the vlogs channel. By the way, thank you so much to everybody subscribed at the vlogs channel. And you can check out the playlist over there. And I'll probably have it up in the card section as well. I'm no longer going to bother with the end screen because YouTube updated their the studio, and the new studio that content creators and streamers have to use for all the post-production stuff. It sucks, and now they've basically forced us to use it, and it's a pain in the ass. It's just the original, the classic version was way better. But anyway, so I'm doing away with the end screens, outros. It's kind of a sad, I guess, transition for both the vlogs channel and the gaming channel because I think a lot of you have grown used to the outro theme. And, well, we've officially retired it. So there will no longer be on this channel or that other channel, the gaming channel, outros. So it's just going to fade to black, just like we all do in the end, I guess. But yeah, so far 2020 has not been good, has it? I mean, there are a few, I guess, bright spots, and I think in trying times, it's even more important to focus on the good things, the light in the darkness, even if sometimes it feels like there's more darkness than light. First off, the gaming channel has celebrated 6 years. This past Friday, the 6-year anniversary of the gaming channel. I guess the big sister, the big brother of this channel. And yeah, so that's awesome. So thank you so much to everybody that's subscribed over there. 11,200 now. Very nice. And I'm still working on tweaking my original channel, The Burns Report, where you can find some of my political stuff. And where I'll be doing probably more reviews of TV shows and movies. I know I originally attempted that over here. It didn't work out, but I'm kind of trying to do it over there in order to give that channel purpose, right? It's my oldest channel. It's been around for like a decade. And since I don't really care as much for politics, I'm trying to make it kind of like a hodgepodge of content that I make that's non-gaming related, I suppose. But anyways, back to the vlog. So a lot of the things we're going to talk about, not exactly good news today, as most of you are probably fully aware of by now. Usually I try to theme these vlogs with the collage thumbnail, and it gives you a quick idea of like, okay, it looks like GB's going to talk about this and that in this vlog for, you know, January 2020, February 2020, and this one, March 2020. But another bit of good news, hopefully, my baby sister, my youngest sister, is probably days or a week or two from having a baby boy. So congratulations to her, as well as one of my brothers-in-law, her husband. I mean, all my sisters are married. All my sisters have husbands, and they all treat them. They're all good men, good bills, brothers-in-law, as I call them. So I'm very happy for them. I know these are difficult times for them because they have a small business, and it's hard on them. It's hard on a lot of people. But like I said, it is a bright spot, you know, bringing in a brand new life, a baby boy, and hopefully he will have a loving father and mother. And once we get all through this, and hopefully he'll be healthy, hopefully his mother will be healthy, hopefully his father will be as well, and hopefully they'll all get through it and we'll all be better for it. But now we're going to dive into the bad stuff, and then at the end we'll talk some other things as well. So there's a bug that's been circulating around the globe, as some of you are already aware of, from China. Thank you, Chinese Communist Party, for doing such a great job containing that particular bug, by the way. Good job. I'm obviously being sarcastic. But anyways, it's spread. And now it's almost at all four corners of the globe. Now, according to numbers that I looked at earlier, There is worldwide right now 417,000 cases confirmed of the coronavirus and nearly 19,000 worldwide dead. And currently, the country with the most deaths is Italy with 6,800. Let's see, China, which has allegedly 3,100. I cast doubt on that number because, well, the Communist Party of China probably is keeping those numbers lower than they actually are. So I feel like China probably has the highest number, but officially their number is 3,100, which like I said, I seriously doubt that that's the number. It's probably much higher. But that's China for you. Not the Chinese people. And that's another thing that kind of pisses me off, is that it's not the Chinese people's fault. It's the government that's to blame. The authoritarian Communist Party of China. So don't take it out on anybody that happens to be of Chinese descent or Asian. It's not their fault. You know, we need to bring people together right now with this crisis, not divide people further apart. I know things like this bring out the best and worst in humanity, but don't take it out on innocent people that happen to be Chinese or Asian. That's bullshit. All right, getting off my soapbox once again. I'll get back on it soon enough. But other numbers include 2,800 deaths in Spain, 1,900 in Iran, and that's a big deal to me because my sister's husband is his family is from Iran. You know, he's American, Iranian American, and so I'm sure his family's affected about that, by that number as well. And there's people throughout the world that are suffering right now, and I know that people have differences and all that stuff, but we should all be in this together. Like I said, this should be a time for us to be working together to save as many lives as possible and to keep the death toll as low as possible. So you think this would be a uniting effort instead of dividing the world further. France currently has 1,100 deaths. The UK currently has 420. The United States has 685 deaths. And in my state of Louisiana, our cases are rising, actually. I think it's along with New York State, Louisiana's cases are going up at an alarming rate. I think a lot of it's down in New Orleans, which is in the south of Louisiana. I'm up in the northwest of Louisiana. Basically, it's East Texas up here, very similar to East Texas. But overall in Louisiana, we have 46 deaths so far, and I think at least one death in my parish. And parish is basically the same thing as county in all the other states. Louisiana has that French history thing going on, so yeah. So unfortunately, at least as of right now, 19,000 and growing. And that's why it's important to listen to what the CDC says, the World Health Organization, various governments are saying to citizens. Self-quarantine, self-isolate, social distance, maintain good hygiene, keep your hands washed and sanitized, limit your exposure to other people's, especially if you're concerned that somebody you may know might be infected. Hopefully they're also self-quarantining right now. Or B, perhaps even you are infected. And if you think that you're infected, if you think you may be coming down with the bug, a lot of governments, including the U.S. government, is advising citizens to go get tested because you want to know if you have it or not in order to hopefully be treated for it and hopefully survive the bug. So, yeah, this is really about us being responsible and keeping ourselves safe while at the same time keeping others safe as well, especially anyone out there that might have the bug or might think they have the bug. You got to be very careful, especially with the elderly, and that's something that really concerns me. I was actually hoping to go see my grandfather who lives in Mississippi. He remarried after my granny died, and him and his wife are up there. And I think my grandfather's in his 90s, and his wife, she is in her, I think she's late 70s, 80s now, I think. But they're both obviously in that age demographic. They're in the crosshairs of the bug, so I'm sure they're both having to be extra cautious right now. And my grandma on my dad's side, She's also in her 90s, and she's bedridden. You know, she's probably not long for this world, unfortunately, and she has health issues already. So she's even more susceptible to the bug, too. And that's unfortunately what the issue is when it comes to the senior citizens across the world. They're the ones that are in the crosshair, as well as people that already have some sort of ailment already. You know, like anyone that is sick, has a weak immunity, anyone that's overweight or has a smoking, drinking problem. They're all more susceptible to the bug as well, and stand a higher risk of mortality because of it. And unfortunately, all this has obviously led to panic and fear, which is, I think, an equal concern as the bug, even perhaps to some degree, could in the long term be a greater concern to the world as a whole. Because when people panic, people do stupid things. And as some of you may know, in my country and other countries, we have had shortages at our stores, like TP shortages, hand sanitizer, other hygiene products, and bottled water shortages, as well as I saw the other day when I went to a store, a lot of fruits and vegetables were no longer on the aisles. Now, hopefully, a lot of that is going to be restocked, and people just don't need to panic. You just need to shop accordingly. It's okay to be prepared. It's okay to have a little bit of supplies of food and, you know, the necessary hygiene products to keep you healthy and clean and smelling fresh, and of course keeping the hands washed and sanitized. But you don't need 10 bottles. You know, you don't need 10 bottles or 100 bottles of hand sanitizer. You don't need tons of rolls of toilet paper. Okay, I mean, I too like the TP. And I'm sure there are some out there, like my brother-in-law, who, you know, kind of probably got a little chuckle because, you know, some people out there, believe it or not, use bidets. And they're probably, at the very least, have had a little laugh at our expense for all of us that have hoarded the TP. I'm not one of them, by the way. I do have some extra TP on me. But at the same time, I think that some people went a little overboard. But it's okay to be a little prepared, a little paranoid, a little cautious. It's always good to plan ahead. But like the panic and the fear is causing even more problems. Plus, you also have people out there like some beachgoers that were going out to spring break. That were like, you know what, I don't care about the bug. I'm going out to Miami or Florida or wherever to party and drink and have fun. I don't care if I get the bug, but chances are they're probably increasing their chances of catching the bug because of their stupidity, because they're not following the rules, and they're running the risk of infecting others if they should also happen to catch the bug. So that's definitely something that we all have to be very, very cautious of, because there's always individuals out there that have the mindset, oh, it'll never happen to me. I'm never going to catch the bug. That's for other people. Oh, I don't have to self-quarantine. I don't have to social distance. I don't have to wash and sanitize my hands. Well, it can happen to you too. And it probably has happened to a few individuals already that have gotten the bug, where they have come to regret their stupidity. And there's been some like really dumb challenges, like the coronavirus challenge, where you had at least one streamer, I guess she was doing it for the attention, and others, you know, following her example, licking toilet seats or toilets. Like, seriously? How stupid are you? What is wrong with some people? I mean, is there just some out there that lack common sense? I wouldn't lick a toilet seat if I was offered like a ton of money. I'd be like, I'm good, thanks. I don't know. I mean, if I washed it really good and, you know, it was my toilet and I had the chance to like really clean it really, really good, like once or twice or 3 or 4 times, and after I licked it, I could quickly wash my mouth and brush my teeth, and maybe for money, lots of money. But other than that, just for doing it for the sake of a silly, ridiculous challenge, I don't know why people are doing it. It's very moronic, in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, this is having a lot of effect, the bug. I mean, also, in my country, a lot of businesses are closed right now, especially the non-essential businesses. and a lot of schools are closed. A lot of kids and college students are at home right now. And a lot of people are just having to stay at home because state governments have issued either stay-at-home orders or lockdowns. I believe Puerto Rico has a lockdown order, and a few other states too, and a few other countries. And the reason why governments are doing this is for the people's safety and well-being, and to help ensure that this thing doesn't spread, because it spreads by human contact. It's not spreading on its own; it's spreading because of us. And China, well, specifically the Chinese Communist Party, not the Chinese people. But we all have to do our part here. I know it sucks. I know there are people who are like, well, what about our freedom liberties? Well, what's good freedom liberties if you're dead, or if somebody in your family is dead, or a loved one, or a friend is dead? Because freedom liberties. Well, I'm just saying. I mean, is there a concern that ultimately governments can take advantage of crises like a certain day in, September in 2001, when after that there was a passage of the Patriot Act and Homeland Security and all that stuff, and some wars? There is a concern. But at the same time, I think that when you have medical experts in the medical field, and look, I don't claim to believe that doctors are all knowing or gods. There's good doctors, there's bad doctors, just like mechanics. But when you have enough of them in the medical field who are experts at this, they're telling you to stay home. They're telling you to self-quarantine. They're telling you to maintain good hygiene. Then you should take their advice. You really should. But, you do so at your peril if you choose not to. In the end, if you don't follow their advice and you catch it, you only have yourself to blame. There's also a possibility that no matter how hard we try, we may catch it anyways. But I think it's best that we try not to panic. We try to remain calm through this ordeal, and hopefully we'll all get through it. Hopefully. But at the same time, with the fear and the panic and the bug and everything else going on, it's going to take a serious hit on the global economy, not just the stock exchange. And it's going to be something we're going to have to endure for probably quite a while, even after this crisis, this pandemic has passed, hopefully sooner rather than later. But you have more countries, including my country, going to be going into debt because there's going to be, I think between $3 trillion, $3 trillion to $6 trillion stimulus package that my government is attempting to pass, that the president's pushing. And as usual, the Democrats, Republicans are working together. Yes, they are. They always work together. They never demonize each other. They never name call. They never act like children. Oh, that's right. They do that all the time. This is another prime example where they should be working together. And both sides, in my opinion, are guilty. Like, each side wants to blame the other. No, I blame both sides. I blame the Democrats. I blame the Republicans. They should have got this thing taken care of already. But, unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that are in trouble right now because even before this bug hit, a lot of workers out there, a lot of Americans, and this is probably the case in a lot of other countries, were working paycheck to paycheck. And they barely were making enough money to pay the bills, to keep a roof over their head, to put food on the table for themselves, as well as their family. And this is only making that dire. And there was concerns that people were going to lose their homes or be kicked out of their apartments or rent houses. And I think that the government is stepping in and saying that this is not going to be allowed during this time period. So I do applaud governments for stepping in for the people, because at the moment, the people can't work because of this. And why should they be punished? Why should they be kicked out? Because they're doing what they're told. They're trying to maintain their health. They're trying not to catch the bug. They're trying to help do their part to prevent the spread of this thing. And, the entire world is going through a crisis right now, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. And so they don't deserve to be punished. And at the same time, there's also the concern that businesses are going to take a hit, especially local businesses like local restaurants, or a lot of the restaurants here are desperately trying to still keep service and customers. I mean, dining is closed in all the restaurants, so you can't dine anymore. But they are doing like curbside, or like the ones that have drive-through. They're probably doing a little bit better, and they're also like taking advantage of all the the different delivery apps like Waiter and some of the others too. And they're just really trying to get customers to still order from them in order to keep their businesses afloat, and of course the employees that work for them employed and making money during these difficult times. But unfortunately, not everybody's going to make it out of it in one piece. There are businesses that are going to end up having to shut their doors. And maybe the stimulus, this $3 to $6 trillion stimulus that Congress is working on, may help that. But at the same time, I do understand the concern that while there is good intention behind it, to help small businesses, to help families and those that are right now unemployed that may not have any other means of providing for their families and themselves and loved ones during this ordeal, there's also the concern that corporations and fat cats and executives and suits at the top of the ivory golden towers will take advantage of this and will use it to get funds for themselves and their own desires and make monies magically disappear while the people continue to suffer, as well as small businesses. So I'm definitely concerned about that in my country and other countries too. So I think there needs to be priorities. Like, the people should come first because we're the taxpayers. Small businesses should be taken care of. And also, I mean, yes, corporations also have businesses, and those businesses have employees, lots and lots of employees, and that's a priority as well. And if they go under, then that's a concern. But I think we have to be very mindful about making sure that the monies that these corporations are getting are going towards making sure that their employees are still employed and that their operations can still continue, not into their pockets. So that's what I'm concerned about when it comes to this whole sort of thing. And the fact that it's going to put us potentially $3 to $6 trillion more in debt when we're already trillions upon trillions of dollars in debt as is. That being my country, the good old US of A. And speaking of politics, I know I have the political channel. Biden, Vice President Biden, and current presidential candidate on the Democrat side, was kind of a no-show for like a week. He disappeared from the campaign trail. And I think he reemerged and had a disastrous live stream. And I know this is not the political channel. I don't even know if that's really a political channel anymore. It's a Viva Variety channel. But I did talk about that in my latest political video. But I just don't understand how he's the front runner. I really don't. I don't get it. I mean, I know it's for like Americans that are not happy with Trump, that don't want him to serve a second term. Right now, their two choices are Bernie or Biden. And look, there are things I agree with Bernie on, and I think he has good intentions. I think he means well. He obviously has a track record. And to his credit, like I mentioned over on the other channel, he has actually been out there doing live streams, speaking to the people like a president should. And, Trump, and his administration has been doing their conferences and stuff. And, that's been, I don't know, been kind of hit or miss, I suppose. But Biden, no-show Biden, bumbling Biden. And honestly, I don't think Biden should be in the race. I think he needs to step aside because he obviously has something going on. There's something going on with Biden. I don't know what it is, but I think I talked a little bit about that over on the other channel. So if you want to know more of my thoughts about, Biden, Bernie, check out the latest video over on the political channel. Well, as of the time that I posted this vlog. It's all over there in the featured channel section. Okay, so yeah, this is a time of great concern for all of us, obviously. And it does show how we take a lot of things for granted, like having the stores filled with the basic items and necessities, and how quickly in a disaster or spread of a pandemic or anything else can cause shortages to come up. I experienced this in Baton Rouge in 2005, back in when I was down there working in radio. And when Katrina hit New Orleans as well as Mississippi, it caused a lot of damage in New Orleans. It caused a lot of damage in that area. The outer band also hit the capital, Louisiana, which was Baton Rouge at the time. Still is, by the way. And, it knocked out the power, and Baton Rouge was basically the first place where they were bringing in people that they were rescuing from New Orleans. So we had the Army National Guard there, we had FEMA, we had helicopters flying in and out of Baton Rouge to New Orleans and back. And there were shortages at the grocery store, and there were shortages at the gas station when it came to gasoline. So I experienced that firsthand back in 2005. And it's so easy for things that we just take for granted to automatically be gone. In fact, case in point, I went to one of the restaurants I like to go to get some drive-through, and they have really good soup. And I ordered my usual chicken noodle. And there's a couple others I like that they have, but my favorite that they serve is chicken noodle. And they were out of it. Now, a lot of us would expect them to have chicken noodle soup, but they didn't, because obviously other people had already purchased whatever amount of chicken noodle they had previously. And because of all the issues going on, shortages, and it had taken some time for things to be restocked at grocery stores and restaurants and rest chains and whatnot. Obviously, they only had a limited supply, a finite amount. And so they apologized. They're like, well, we're sorry, sir. We're out of chicken noodle soup. And so I had to order something else, It wasn't a big deal. I mean, at the very least, at least I was able to get something else. I think I got the vegetable soup, which was actually quite good. I guess healthy. But during these times, we all have to do our part. And you have to realize that, we have been through worse. Like, for example, the Great Depression, which all my grandparents went through. My granny and papa on my mom's side, my grandma on my dad's side, they endured it. And I heard plenty of stories from all of them, from everything they had to do throughout the Depression. But they survived. And they went on to become the Great Generation. And, before that, we had, the Spanish flu, which wiped out millions and millions of people worldwide. And now we live in an age of health, science, reason, understanding. And I don't think that the coronavirus is going to be as bad at the end of the day as the Spanish flu. At least I sincerely hope not. But you can't take away the fact that lives have been lost already. At the very least, 19,000. That number will continue to go up. Who knows how many were actually lost in China so far. We'll probably never know that number. But at the same time, like I mentioned, we're all in this together, and this is not the time for us to be divided. This is a time for us to come together as a species, as a people, not just Americans or, Chinese or Russians or Iranians or British or Europeans or Africans or Middle Easterns or South Americans, Central Americans, or anywhere else in the world. Doesn't matter. This is a time when we need to be working together to save as many lives as possible and to ensure that this bug, is dealt with, that it doesn't spread and it doesn't infect as many people and it doesn't kill as many people. And, a lot of people are doing their part. Unfortunately, there are those that are choosing not to. But yes, it's only just the beginning, because we also have to deal with the ramifications of the global economy. It could very well send us into a new Great Depression. It's possible. I hope not. Maybe at the very least another recession. But just like with the Great Depression before us, just like with the World Wars, just like with the Cold War, just like with the Spanish flu, we will survive as a species. But the divisiveness, the name-calling, the hatred, the toxicity, the keyboard warring on the social medias is not helping. And, demonizing anyone that happens to be of Asian descent or Chinese descent, that's just wrong. It's just wrong. And it does make me sad for humanity. We live in 2020, and I expect better from our species, to be honest. I really do. Okay, so let's move on to a few more topics. Some sports. Yay, sports, because sports has also been affected by the bug. Now, I don't care as much about sports as I used to, but, sports is sports. You had the XFL, the brand new American Football League, which is supposed to compete against the NFL. So many other leagues have come and gone. The USFL, arena football, list goes on and on. But, the XFL 2.0 by Vince McMahon, Mr. WWE, it was off to a decent start. But the bug hit, and unfortunately, the XFL had to suspend the rest of their season. Whether or not they're able to come back for a second season next year remains to be seen. A lot of other pros teams in sports have been postponed, including college basketball. That was postponed because we had this thing called March Madness in America, where you have men's and women's basketball teams competing for national titles, kind of a big deal for basketball fans. And professional, the NHL, which is the hockey league, that's postponed, suspended for now. The NBA, the National Basketball Association, the Professional Basketball League in America, that's suspended and postponed for now. You also have Major League Baseball, which is obviously the Professional Baseball League in America. That is suspended and postponed for now as well. And speaking of sports, we have some new logos. Yay! You know me. I love logos. I absolutely do. Fun fact, when I was a kid, on my PowerPoint back in the day, I had this idea for professional bowling teams. Very similar to NFL teams or baseball teams or basketball teams. Because I was a bowler back in the day when I was a kid. And I did some bowling while I was in radio, but it's been years since I've been in league bowling. But back in the day, I was kind of an amateur graphics artist, and I still consider myself to be one. Not as much as I used to be. I guess you could say the passion's kind of burnt out, and part of me kind of wishes I would have pursued that a little bit more. Maybe some graphic design classes in college, maybe a degree. Maybe that could have taken me somewhere. I don't know. But I do like me some logos. And I can always tell when a logo looks good. I can always tell when a logo looks like shit. And speaking of sports, another league, the National Football League, as I mentioned a moment ago, they have some new logos for some of their teams. The LA Rams, formerly the St. Louis Rams, well, originally the LA Rams. They moved back to LA. They unveiled their new logo today. Well, yes. I think I'll post this Tuesday evening. I'll get it out Tuesday evening. So, yeah, technically today. So, they posted their new logo, and it looks awful. In fact, some people are making fun of it being a ripoff of a college logo from Angelo State. Now, Angelo State University is in Texas, in the city of San Angelo. I know this because I had some friends of mine who went to San Angelo, to ASU, the San Angelo State, Angelo State University Rams. They also have Rams as the logo. And it looks eerily similar. So just Google that, ASU Rams versus LA Rams logo. Now, what's interesting is, even though their primary LA Horns logo, the new one, looks like shit, their secondary logo actually looks kind of cool. And I noticed on Twitter, and I jokingly tweeted the Rams my LS Lambs logo, because at one time in Grand Theft Auto Online, since we are driving around in Grand Theft Auto Online badly, the casino was not always the Diamond Casino. There was a previous casino where the current Diamond Casino stands as we drive towards it in real time. Now, in LA, in the same area, there was also a casino. But that casino got demoed because they're building a huge new football stadium for the LA Rams and the LA Chargers, two American football teams. And so there was a time a while back when I jokingly came up with the idea of the Los Santos Lambs, where they would just simply demo the casino and just build a stadium and just have the LS Lambs, the Los Santos Lambs. So I made a silly logo and I tweeted it to the LA Rams. I thought it was funny, me and my humor, right? And I think my logo is actually better than their new LA Rams Horns logo. But their secondary logo actually looks cool. It actually does look cool. It actually is a new Rams head. I think that should be their primary logo. And that other logo, they should just do away with it. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage. But hopefully they will at least keep their helmets, the iconic swirling helmets. And another good thing about the LA Rams is they're actually finally listening to their fans, and they're going back to the blue and gold or blue and yellow. I think it's blue and gold. Well, blue and yellow, because when they were the St. Louis Rams, they had gold. So I would say blue and yellow. The blue and yellow iconic uniforms and colors. So they're going from blue and white back to blue and yellow. So at least they did that right. The Chargers also had an updated version of their logo. It looked okay. But the truth is, I don't think that Los Angeles needs two football teams. In fact, it had two football teams at one time. The LA Raiders and the LA Rams back in the 90s. They both left. LA Rams for Oakland. Now the Oakland Raiders are heading to Vegas to become the Vegas Rams. Raiders. Yes, Vegas Raiders. So from the LA Raiders to the Oakland Raiders to now the Nevada Vegas Raiders. Yes, I'm confused. And then the LA Rams went from LA to St. Louis and then back to LA. So, I mean, one team in the second largest market in the country, LA, makes sense. But two teams, that does not make sense. And I feel like it's a bad idea having two American professional football teams in the LA Rams and the LA Chargers, especially since the LA Chargers are best known for San Diego. You know, they spent most of their history in San Diego. So I think that eventually you're going to probably see the LA Chargers go back to San Diego, or they're going to go somewhere else. Because I think that in this regard, there can be only one. I think. That's just my opinion. Sports, right? And speaking of delays, before we wrap up, a lot of things are being delayed because of the bug. Movies are being delayed, like the new Bond film's delayed. The new Fast and Furious movie's delayed. Mulan was delayed. A lot of shit got delayed. And a lot of production got delayed. There's a lot of TV shows and movies that were under production. They have been delayed. They've been shut down. And there are probably going to be video games that are delayed. That's most likely going to happen. And even though we have two next-gen consoles coming out, swinging back to gaming, because you know me, I'm mostly about gaming, mostly. Kind of sort of have a gaming channel. So we do have the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 still tentatively scheduled to come out this fall. I think in the holiday season, like October, November. But because a lot of stuff is manufactured in, you guessed it, China, it's causing shortages for a lot of things. And most likely, I'm just going to take a wild prediction here. I get the feeling that the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 will probably be delayed till probably maybe spring 2021. That's just my opinion. Oh, the Olympics! I forgot to mention the Olympics. Speaking of sports, the Olympics in Tokyo. You know how every 4 years we have the Olympics? Yeah, ever since, over a century ago, I think, they brought back the Olympics. But every 4 years. I think with one or two exceptions. I think during World War II there was a delay, I think. But ever since then, we've had the Olympics every 4 years. And then they also rotate in the Winter Olympics. But the big to-do is the Summer Olympics, the Iliad, This summer it was supposed to be in Tokyo. Well, guess what? Because of the bug, for the first time, the Olympics are delayed to 2021. That is so odd. I know. That was a cheesy joke. You get it, right? Because 2021. Yeah, okay. If you have to explain a joke, it's not very funny. But at the same time, I wasn't really excited about the Olympics anyways. Yay, who cares? I'm not really into sports as I used to. I know I talked a lot about sports, but I mostly was talking about logos. But and Roger Goodell is a terrible chairman of the NFL. Why does he still have a job? Why does he still making millions of dollars? It's like almost every decision he made so far has been horrible. Okay, back to gaming. So I'm not really excited about the next-gen consoles at the moment. I'm still happy with my Xbox One X and my PlayStation 4 Pro. And I normally, even though I'm a gamer, even though I do have obviously a content channel and stream channel where I play video games, and I do like to have the most up-to-date hardware, I'm not really in a rush to pre-order or get Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 day one. Because a lot of times, as some of you know, usually the day one products have issues. And usually it's best to wait a little, like few further months down the road after they've worked out some of the issues in the day one versions of those consoles. Because there probably will be problems. Maybe minor when it comes to the Xbox Series X and the PS5. Maybe not. Probably. But at the moment, a lot of people, because of the economy, because of what's happening around the world with the bug and the economy and all that stuff, are having to prioritize. And comic book shops are in trouble. The comic book industry is in danger, and that's not just because of Snowflake and Safe Space and Screen Time and B Negative and Trailblazer. The epic new Warriors of tomorrow, they're going to be the next Justice League. They're the next Avengers. That's right. They're going to make multi-bazillion dollars. They're going to be terrific comic book superheroes. Everybody is going to want to get the issue 1 of the New Mutants. Are they the New Mutants? Or, Warriors? Honestly, I didn't really know that New Warriors was a thing because I'm more of a DC guy. I am aware of Iron Man and Spider-Man and Avengers, X-Men. I never really was that aware of New Mutants, even the old New Mutants. So are they, the old Warriors. Warriors, Mutants, I get that confused, but honestly, the comic book industry is in trouble, and everything's in trouble. The entertainment industry is in trouble, from comics to TV shows to movies, because a lot of it's garbage, woke, agenda, SJW nonsense, and it's so preachy nowadays. I'm sick and tired of it. But a lot of that's going to take a negative effect because of the bug. Because already people were getting sick and tired of it anyways. So you also have the streaming wars happening, and that's great too. And a lot of franchises being wrecked that I love, like Doctor Who and probably Star Trek as well, with the season finale of Picard coming up Thursday. By the way, I am planning to do a season 1 review of Star Trek Picard on the other channel, The Burns Report, Thursday or Friday. I'll get around to it. But yeah, so that's everything that seems to be happening in the world. But the good news is Better Call Saul is still an awesome show. I'm still loving that. Westworld, I dipped out after season 1. Season 3. Season 1 was awesome, by the way. Season 1 was awesome. And there were some good episodes in season 2, but it fell apart by the end. I watched the first episode of season 3. I was bored, and I didn't go back. I heard the second episode last Sunday was good, or better. Nowhere near the level as, say, season 1 of Westworld. But I'm just tired of wasting my time on garbage TV shows and movies. I really am. That's why I don't watch most of the CW shows anymore. That's why I never gave Batwoman a chance. That's why I'm done with most of those shows. That's why I'm just tired of wasting my time. Because especially with the way the world we live in, who knows how much time any of us have left, I also have a ticking time bomb with the old liver. So who knows how long I'll last with that thing. I try my best, but, we'll see how that goes. But anyways, you got to be appreciative and grateful for the times that we do have and make the most of it. And time is precious, especially with a little bug going around the world. And I choose not to waste my time, whatever time I happen to have left, whether it's a few days, weeks, months, years, decades, etc., watching these crappy shows. I'd rather watch live streams on YouTube. I'd rather watch YouTube content. I'd rather play video games. I'd rather make my own content, whether it's on the gaming channel, the Burns Report, new vlogs for you all to enjoy once a month, and hang out with friends, family, people that I love. I'd rather do that. And it sucks that I'm not able to go see my sisters either, because I was planning on going down there to see my baby sister whenever she has her baby boy. But because of all this going on in the world, I can't. I can't go see my papaw. I can't go see my sisters. I can't go see my new nephew. It sucks. But we're all having to do our part. We're all having to make sacrifices. And hopefully, Just hopefully we'll all get through this. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Well, okay, maybe you didn't enjoy the vlog, but hopefully you made it through the March 2020 vlog. And thank you always for watching my vlogs and subscribing to the vlogs channel for all of you that have subscribed. And like I said, if you want to go check out previous vlogs that I've done on a variety of topics, there is the vlogs playlist. And if you are new to me, and this is the first time you ever come across me, hello, how you doing? I also have some other channels in the featured channel section. My gaming channel, where I play video games and stream Red Dead Online along with Grand Theft Auto Online. I also have a kind of a Diva Variety channel. I'm still working on tweaking a little bit. My Burns Report channel. Some political stuff. I'm more of a moderate. I'm all about people working together. I got some of that. I got some TV stuff. I got some movie stuff over there as well. So you're welcome to check out and subscribe to all my channels. And as always, thanks for watching.